I'll kick her off if she's annoying.
Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. How is everyone doing today? Welcome to our migraine strategy call. I am Debbie Waidl. I am the founder of the Freedom from Migraine Method, the owner of the Women's Migraine Freedom Group, and your migraine health coach specialist, here to support all of you to find a way to reduce the severity, duration, and frequency of your migraines to bring you to your migraine freedom. We have 2,000 strong in this group right now. I am so glad that you are all here because you do not need to live your life with migraines. Contrary to popular belief, to what your conventional doctors tell you, this is not a life sentence. It is a symptom. It's a symptom of something bigger that we can help you get to the root cause of so that you can actually start living your life. And speaking of that, we have two special guests, but I think Amanda just put the one on the floor.
He's gone. She got kicked out.
But we have Amanda here today, which I am thrilled. I'm thrilled that she has joined us because Amanda actually kicked her migraines to the curb after just 9 months of having them. So she is here today to tell us her story, tell us why it was so important for her to do that, and give you ladies some hope, because as I said, there is no reason to live a life with migraines. So without further ado, Amanda, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm really excited to be here. There she is.
Yes. And just so you know, we love cats and animals so if she comes back, it's no big deal. We chatted with Debbie last week and we had a butt in our face for a little while on the camera. So just shows that we're real, right? Shows that we're real.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, let's just start off with a super easy question so everyone has a little bit of background on you. So how about starting off and just telling us a little bit about your migraine journey before joining the Freedom from Migraine Method?
Yeah. So I've always been kind of prone to headaches, and it's something that I've just kind of dealt with, thought was normal. Just have a headache. And but I didn't have my first migraine with an aura until August 25th of 2020. And I'll probably never forget that date.
I was going to say, we know the date.
We know the date. Yeah. It was a significant thing to have happen. I was brushing my teeth in the morning and all of a sudden I couldn't see, my toothbrush head to put the toothpaste on, and I knew something was weird. It was almost a little bit entertaining, like a novelty, oh, this feels weird and strange and kind of silly. Okay. And my partner at the time, he had migraines too. And so he's like, it might be an aura, this might be what it is. And then, 15 minutes later it passed, and then I was in tears on the couch with head pain that I had never experienced before. And he ran out in his underwear to get Excedrin out of the car, and I just laid there I don't know what to do. Excedrin didn't help, and I was texting my family and friends who knows what to do about this, and getting things like drink a Coke, put your feet in the hot water, close your eyes, take a nap, whatever. And so I tried everything and anything and ended up in pain for about 9 hours that day, and didn't throw up, but was really close multiple times and just miserable. And, thankfully I was working from home. I still mostly am, but my boss also has dealt with migraines, and he's like, take it easy for the day, but I didn't realize that, the next day I felt like crap too. And it took a few days to get back to normal. And after that, I was kind of like, what the heck is this going to be a thing now? It wasn't, I had another migraine with an aura a few weeks later. And after that one, I kind of realized that maybe this isn't going to go away as quickly as it came on.
We all hope with that first one, don't we? That it's kind of a fluke, that maybe, okay, it was just something weird I did. Maybe I ate something. I don't know. I slept funny and it's just going to go away. But then when the second one comes, you kind of know that you're stuck.
Yeah.
So how long did they go on, that you're dealing with these and trying all the wonderful solutions that family and friends are so great to give, because they just want you to feel better, right?
Yeah.
So they want you to feel better, but unfortunately, a lot of those things don't touch the pain.
Yeah. Yeah. It really didn't do anything. So I started getting them like first a little over once a month, and then closer to once a month. And then in October, when I finally started seeing a migraine specialist, I had 5 that month. And that was not how I wanted to be living. So I started seeing somebody, and he is pretty well known in Chicago, where I'm from. So I felt like I was in good hands, but it was immediately, okay, here's this medication to take. And in the future, we can think about preventative medication, and here's these supplements, and maybe Botox down the line, and chiropractic, and all of these things. And, on top of that, he had told me to, track what I was eating, and track the weather, and track how I'm feeling. And it was kind of exhausting. I really did not like writing down every little thing that I was eating, and
yeah,
exactly what the weather was doing. And because I didn't notice like one-to-one trigger to migraine kind of issues. And, on top of all that, I'm browsing the internet, reading all these different diets and little gadgets and things that I don't know how many things I ordered from Amazon. They were like, yeah, maybe this will help.
Yeah. Well, and you're trying to do all that while you're in pain, right?
Yeah, totally.
Or with the migraine hangover, like you mentioned, where you might have the migraine for 9 hours, but then for 2 or 3 days, you don't feel like yourself again. So you have that horrible feeling of, okay, can I just get back to normal? And then by the time you do, if you're having more than 5 migraines a month, you're just like in this continuous cycle of migraine hangover, and it's where are the good days. So you bought all these things, you saw the doctor.
Yeah. I mean, and in between the migraine and the hangover is the anxiety that next migraine is on its way. And so I was just not happy, really not feeling well and doing well, and just kind of lived a life on the couch, it felt like. And then I went into kind of a frenzy of joining different Facebook groups, which I spent a lot of time on Facebook. I figured, might as well talk with other people like me. And one of those was yours. And I had initially, when you first reach out and ask if we'd like support, I think I said no. I kind of wasn't ready to commit. And a little bit nervous, like, no, I'll just do this by myself. But from afar, I'll read things, but I'm not going to talk to you. And then, I don't know, just a few days after that, I was really not having a great day. My eyes have gotten more sensitive, I think, since starting to have migraines, which is getting better slowly, but it's still kind of a thing. And I had a particular day that it was just like every time I look at a screen or look at the light, I was just so nervous about getting a migraine. And so I was in the backyard crying, not feeling well. And then you had messaged me again. And at that point, I was like, all right, might as well, I'm miserable now, might as well just do this with somebody who knows what she's talking about, and with a group of women who know what I'm dealing with. And so we set up a call, I think probably the next day or something like that. And we had met with my partner at the time, and, because he was living with migraines as much as I was living with migraines, helping me figure out what I was supposed to do and kind of coordinate all these different things. And I think he was a little bit more, I came away like, I think I want to do this, but I'm not sure. And he's like, you should absolutely do this. And then I signed up, and here I am.
I love how you just said that about your partner at the time, because this I find with most women that I get on a call with is they're like 50-50. Should I do it? Should I not do it? And it's so much of that skepticism.
Yeah.
Is this going to work? Is it not going to work? But even a better word than skepticism, which I'm, really embracing and noticing lately, is it's more fear. Fear of trying one more thing that's going to disappoint and not give you the results that you're looking for. Because it's almost like crushing every single time you try something and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I don't think it ever has to boil down to the money, it's money, but, at the end of the day, I think it's more of that fear and almost that anxiety of what happens if this doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
you took that leap.
I did.
You took
I
it.
did. Yeah, I was still, being so early on in this migraine journey, I could see down the line years and years, like, okay, I know that if this doesn't work, my doctor, we might go ahead with Botox, or like me on a prevention, and all these other things that I've seen so many people do for decades.
Yeah.
And it was really scary at the beginning. Like, if this doesn't work, then yeah, maybe that is what I will be kind of facing and how I'll be managing this. And that's not, I've always kind of been, I guess, more turned towards functional medicine. Like, I obviously I trust my doctors, but I like to do things a little bit differently sometimes. And yeah, I didn't really want to fall into medications and, I don't know, more and more invasive things.
Yeah.
So it was scary, but you have testimonials like mine that I got to watch and listen to the women who've come before me. And yeah, it was kind of inspiring,
Absolutely. And I think, when we're thinking about migraines and dealing with migraines and wondering whether this is something that's good for us to do, I think it is so important to be able to hear other women's stories, which again is why we do these calls. It's not, the method to the madness of doing these is to let everyone know that, there are women just like you suffering with this, and you don't need to suffer for decades. Amanda, you got lucky. I shouldn't say lucky. You took control of your health. You saw this was happening to your life. And fortunately, because you are someone who's on Facebook, you did have those resources that you were able to, access. And I'm sure that you went through a bunch of different groups, because there's many great groups out there. There are many migraine groups, but they all have a little different feel to them as to what they do. And I'm sure you noticed many of them, they talk about medication. Yep. What's the med cocktail? Did Emgality work for you? Or Emgality did, whatever, these CGRP drugs work? Did Imitrex work? Did the nasal work? So everyone's trying to talk about what Botox, does that work? But instead, our group, if you notice, I know Amanda knows, but for those of you watching, we don't really talk about medication in this group, because medication's okay if you're coming in and you're taking that. That's fine with us, because it's helping you in the moment. You need to get through the moment, but we're focusing on that root cause. We're focusing on getting to why you're having those migraines, so that, like Amanda, you don't have to take that medication again, and you can follow more of a functional approach. Now, I love both sides of medication. I love conventional and functional, because let's face it, if I break a leg, if I need surgery, if something like that happens, I need my conventional doctors, because my functional doctor is not going to, give me a really great diet that's going to cure a broken leg. It'll support the healing of that broken leg, but it's not going to cure that broken leg. So we need both, but you really worked on getting to the root of the problem, which was amazing. So was that kind of the reason why you decided to join the Freedom from Migraine method, because you saw it, that it was a different approach? Is that what made you drawn towards us?
That for sure. And just the fact that it was, this group has, how many women did you say? 2,000?
Yeah.
But the Freedom from Migraine methods is a lot smaller. It's a lot more kind of close knit, and felt like I could get to know the other women in it, which was really important for me, especially still being at home, still living through the pandemic. I wasn't seeing many people. My social circles got a lot smaller. And so I was really excited to have another community, and especially filled with people who knew what I was going through and would support me and would teach me. You know, I learned so much from everybody in the group. You especially, but you know, everyone else who's kind of living it at the same time as I am. And there's, you know, you do fun stuff too. Like we had a yoga group going as soon as I joined, you know, I got involved in that. And it just kind of became another good way while I was focusing on supporting myself to migraine freedom. I got to talk with people from all over the world. You know, it's not just people in my neighborhood. It's an international group. So yeah, that was something else that really drew me to the program.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that our group is so close knit. I mean, I constantly refer to the Freedom from Migraine Method as the Freedom from Migraine Method family. You know, we right now, I think, I'm not going to get the exact number right, but we're somewhere in the 40s as to how many women that we have. I think 48 possibly. And they are from all over the world, from the UK, from China, you know, from the United States, from Mexico. You know, we have women all over the world. So to be able to support each other without having to be in the same neighborhood, to learn, you know, a new culture at the same time, which is amazing, but just to make friends. And I know a lot of you stay in contact with each other, you know, whether it be through the Women's Migraine Freedom Group, you know, staying in there to keep connection, or through Messenger, or, you know, personal Facebook pages. But it just shows how important this group can be to certain people. Now, everyone that joins, you know, if you're someone who's a little bit more introverted, don't feel that you put yourself out there as much as you need to. You know, the group is there for what you need to take from it. Some people are more active. Some people are kind of, you know, what I call little stalkers. They're kind of reading everything and, you know, just kind of taking in what they want to take in. And that is absolutely fine. But even those people, I think, get so much from the group, because you can hear the experiences of people that are just starting and people that are about to graduate, because we slowly bring people into the group so that there's always all different levels of people working on their migraine freedom. So it's not 40 new people at once, and then we wait till they graduate, or, you know, whatever the case may be. We want to make sure that there's always every level, so that it's like having a bunch of sisters that are younger, that are middle, that are older. And I think this is what you're kind of referring to, Amanda, how amazing that group was in that way.
Yeah. It was really nice to kind of get to know the people who had just started before me, and then see the people at the end of their journey. Really helpful to see all ends of that.
Absolutely, because then you do realize that, you know, the people in the beginning, they are still struggling. You know, and we just kind of had this discussion in our group this week. We had a whole bunch of people who had some massive amounts of wins. And sometimes it's hard for the people that are struggling, you know, to see that, you know, so-and-so is migraine free, or they were able to get off of triptans when they're still struggling with doing so. So it is important to have that balance there, so that we can always remember, yes, this is a roller coaster ride. There's twists, there's turns, there are ups, there's downs, but eventually you do get off the ride. Yes. And get to where Amanda is today. So in the program, Amanda, if you had to think of one thing that was like the biggest, you know, aha moment, or something that was like really surprising to you, is there anything that really stands out for you that was really beneficial?
I think just learning. So the program is kind of chunked into modules, and you focus on like food, you focus on sleep, exercise, stress, these different like big parts of your life. And I think just recognizing that it's many things, and it's not especially just food, which I had always thought like food was the main cause of migraines in everybody. Like, you eat this, you're going to get a migraine, or like eat this diet and you'll be fine. And it contributes for sure. And I'm eating much better than I was eating before I started the program. And I'm sticking to it. You know, I've always liked to cook, but I'm having fun, like preparing things that are good for me and also taste good. And yeah, so just realizing that it was kind of more than what I had initially thought migraine freedom might look like. And then having all those different pieces to kind of tweak and work on and make little improvements here. So then I feel better here, and like change one thing here. And wow, I'm feeling much better. Like food and sleep, especially. I didn't realize how important sleep was for me. And But once I started to, notice that I'm sleeping better and, oh, I'm feeling better throughout the day and feeling better throughout the week, little things like that, um, just learning that it's kind of you have to do a lot of little things, but nothing is really overwhelming, I guess I'll say it like that.
I love how you say that, because I think that's probably part of every discussion that I have with women when I do get the wonderful opportunity to talk to them, is that everyone always wants to focus on food, or am I taking the right meds? They think that there's one big thing that's going to bring them to the end. Someone today that I spoke with, they started a new supplement and they're like, I'm starting to see results. Well, absolutely, that supplement's probably supporting you, but unfortunately that's not the only piece. So
Yeah.
it would be great, but we'd have a lot less people that are suffering with migraines, right? If it was one quick answer, we wouldn't have 2,000 plus women in this group, and there wouldn't be 1 in 4 women who are still suffering with migraines. So I think that being able to work together in a group, I think that's why we're so supportive, because we're not focusing on, okay, Amanda, is it red wine that triggers you, or chocolate, or gluten? It's, let's increase that threshold. Let's get it big enough where we don't have to worry so much about trying to figure out every trigger, because we never will. We never will. And that's what conventional doctors want you to do. Figure out your triggers, take the meds, and maybe we'll give you a quick little lesson on no MSG, no chocolate, no wine, and you should be good. Right. Those are the top 3 that they always tell everybody. So, or your hormones are out of whack. We got to put you on hormone replacement therapy to get those hormones back in place, which, ladies, you don't need to be on hormone replacement therapy. We work on that in the program naturally to get your hormones back in balance. But so, Amanda, we were talking before we jumped on about how your life looks so different now as to when you were having migraines, and the lack of things that you could do then as compared to now. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. I'm busy now, but it's good busy. I like doing things and being able to do things on my own time, especially. And I know that plans change always, but it's nice to not be nervous about making lunch plans with a friend, because I might have to cancel because I might have a migraine, or just being so nervous to go out to eat anyway, and go out and do things outside of my home. So yeah, I've gotten lunch with a friend last week and dinner with a different friend that I hadn't seen in a long time. And I went to a concert this weekend for the first time in 2 years, maybe. And
Wow.
It was awesome. Part of that is pandemic, but I was also just really nervous to go out and do that, knowing that there'd be blinking lights and sweating and dancing and whatever, but it was great. I had a lot of fun and I felt good. And what else am I doing? I'm exercising now, which is
nice,
which is good. No, I just got a bike, and I'm riding it all over the place. I love it.
Well, and besides biking, what is your other favorite thing that we always see you on Facebook posting?
I do indoor rock climbing. And that, besides being a stress relief, it's good exercise and it's fun for sure.
Absolutely. And I love that we can see your smiling face doing that, so happy and not having to worry about, a migraine being triggered by it, or so you're doing something fun, you're getting exercise in. And as you've said, you've mentioned anxious a few times. Mm-hmm. How has that anxiety level changed since the beginning of the program to now?
It is a lot lower, and less frequent. Like I'll still get anxiety if like I'm driving at night or something and light kind of hits my eyes weird and I'm not certain for a second, what's going on, but it doesn't last. I know that I have my deep breathing and calming exercises, and I know that even if I do get a migraine, it is not going to be nearly as intense as they were before I started the program. And I know the things to do to bring it down and to feel better quickly. So I'm less anxious about, having to deal with 9 hours of pain and throwing up all day, because I know that that's not how they go anymore. And just in the day to day, I'll catch myself not being anxious if that makes sense. Like, oh, I feel okay right now, you know?
I love that. And I know that this resonates with so many people watching, because the level of anxiety in this world, and the amount of people that are suffering with anxiety has just skyrocketed. Especially, it was bad before, and then COVID hit and it got worse. It is definitely an epidemic, and it doesn't have to be, and a lot of the things that Amanda worked on in the program, that's the great thing about the program, is migraines is almost the side effect, because really what we're doing is we're working on your overall health. And once we get your overall health where it needs to be, all these symptoms start falling to the wayside. And migraines is one of those symptoms that falls to the wayside. So by being able to work on Amanda's gut health, we're able to start actually producing serotonin and dopamine like her body's supposed to, which brings that level of anxiety down, because we need our serotonin and dopamine to keep that anxiety at bay. Those are our happy neurotransmitters that just make us feel so good. So a nice, happy side effect of working on your overall health and ending your migraines is that you get to reduce that anxiety at the same point in time. And let's face it, we all have anxious moments. I mean, my son got married this weekend and I had butterflies in my stomach quite a few times, but those are good. We need some level of anxiety to keep us alive and functioning. And that's important, but it's when it's a constant thing that we shouldn't have to feel that way. So it's so good to hear that that is where it, that it's in check, and that the times that you're feeling it are so normal and they're going to keep dissipating. For me, I kept Imitrex in my house for years after my migraines ended. It was like, just, that safety blanket. I didn't need it, but it took me probably 2 years before I threw it away. And then once I did, it was a good feeling, but I wasn't ready for that. I just wasn't ready. So you kind of touched on your results so far. So, I love the fact that if you do start feeling head pain, you know what to do. I think that's very important for people to understand that, we are human beings, and we do things in our day, or things come up in our day where the threshold might be smaller. So symptoms can sneak back in, but you have those tools and you're feeling confident about those tools to be able to get rid of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful. Yeah. I am 10 years migraine free. But there are days where I start feeling neck pain sneak in, and that's my warning sign. It's like, okay, Debbie, what are you doing? Let's stop back and look, and let's take care of that so that it never becomes that full blown migraine. And as each person is out of the program, the longer they're out, the more you're going to start seeing of that, you're going to catch those prodromes so quick that, that you don't have to worry about it. And there's your, migraine freedom journey right there.
Yeah.
So had you not found us, Amanda, what do you think you'd be doing today?
Well, first of all, is that noise? Should I close that window? Can you hear that?
I think we're okay.
Okay. There's leaf blowing or something outside.
Yeah, I think
it's fall here now.
And this is reality. It's life.
Life working out. Yeah. I think I would probably be unhappy. I think that even the last time I saw my doctor, after him, having told him that I'm doing well and doing all these different things and feeling good, he's still like, well, maybe think about this medication, or maybe think about physical therapy, or like think about these different things. And so I would probably have been doing, like, trying all those different things that I didn't necessarily want to, but might have felt like I needed to. And like that was my only way to go forward. I don't know. I can't imagine that I would be feeling too well if I didn't join the program. So,
well, we're glad to hear that you've had such great results, and it really is because you took control of your health. As you said, your doctors, they may have some different recommendations for you and different ideas, and our doctors are so well-meaning. I am, again, I will say it for the second time in this call, I am not anti-conventional medicine, but they only know what they know. They know what they were taught in med school. They only have one nutrition course a conventional doctor does throughout their whole med school experience. And they are definitely driven by big pharma. That's how they're driven. They do get a percentage of money for every prescription that they write. Keep that in mind. I'm not sure exactly how it works in the UK, but pretty sure it's the same as here, that there are percentages that they get from big pharma. Again, well-meaning and trying to make sure you're okay. But when you know that you can take control of your own health and you don't need to do that, that is like the best feeling on the face of the earth. And Amanda, you did this in your 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Not in your 50s and 60s after living 30, 40 years with migraines. So I know so many of you listening are that way in your 30s, 40s, and 50s. So no, it's not too late. It is not too late to get your time back. I'm 52 and I plan on living to over 100. So I can't imagine today saying that I'd be willing to live another 50 years with migraines. Just, not. And you weren't willing to do that either, which is amazing. So speaking of these amazing women that are still suffering, that are watching right now, we have a ton of them on. We have Debbie Williams is watching. We've got Erin on, Heather's on, Lori's on, Rhoda's on, Leanne, Sonia, and I think there's more, but that's just a bunch of who's on. So thank you, ladies, for hopping on and listening to Amanda's story. If you have any questions, please pop them in chat right now, because we're about to wrap up here. So if you have any questions for Amanda, I want to make sure we get those answered. But while they're doing that, Amanda, on a weekly basis, I talk to 10, 20 women who are suffering with migraines, women who are scared to take that leap of faith, who are afraid to believe that there's anything out there that can help them because nobody else has been able to help them. Women who are talking to me that probably think that at the end of the day, I just want to talk them into working in my program, to bring income into my household. But that's not the case. I'm here to support women because I know what it's like. Yes, it helps keep my lights on. It puts food on my table. But at the same point in time, it is the most rewarding thing I've ever done. On a daily basis, I get to see people like you smile, see you get your life back. Enjoy watching your Facebook posts now that are so different compared to when you first started.
Sure.
So what would you say to those women who, are just either afraid to get on a call with me or have decided they just don't want to join? What would you tell them?
Yeah, I have two things that I would say. The first is that I know how migraines can make you feel like isolated and like you're doing this on your own, and almost that it's your fault that you're having them. When you start nitpicking, okay, what did I eat? Or like, what did I do? Or what didn't I do? But in this program, there's no judgment. There's only support and like a real excitement to help. And, everybody has this attitude of like, we're going to help you feel better and we're going to help you help yourself feel better kind of thing. And that was really something that I needed coming into it. I feel like I can kind of be, nervous about how I come across, or, are people judging me because I have a migraine, kind of thing. And there's none of that there. And it's always, it's a group to help you feel better and to help you get to where you need to be. So that's the first thing I would say. And then the second thing is just that, you are in control of your own body, and we have doctors and we have other groups and friends and family that are well-meaning, but at the end of the day, it's you that you are living with, and that is feeding and taking care of yourself. And I think that everybody does have the ability to take control of their own health and to do the things that they know will help them feel better. And this is just a group to give you a little push and give you information and to help you. But at the end of the day, you're doing the work, and we're all capable of doing it.
I love it. I love that you just said that, because it is 100% true. At the end of the day, you ladies are the one doing the work. We have organized all of the information that you need. We do our best 24/7 to support you, answer your questions, and guide you in the right direction. But it is all about putting that work in. So, if there's someone who is on the fence, but they don't think they're ready to do the work, then you're probably not ready. But if you're ready to be done, ready to end the pain and ready to put in in what I feel is a small amount of effort for the return that you get. Yes, it's a lot of effort, but it's a small amount of effort for the return that you get your life back. If you're ready to do that, then we want to be here to support you, like we supported Amanda and all the other women that have gone through the Freedom from Migraine method. Because again, what better thing than to sit here today and look at this smiling face who is busy
Yep.
and loving life and enjoying it pain-free, and got to go on vacation, right? You went on vacation to see your brother, is that right?
Yep. My brother and his wife in
Yeah.
Montana. It was beautiful.
And got to do that. And just those pictures were absolutely amazing to see you not in pain and enjoying every moment of that. So wonderful. Well, Amanda, this has been great. I'm just double checking here. It looks like nobody has any questions right now, but if they end up with questions, is it okay if they tag you and I in this video later and let us know if they have questions? Because I know so many are going to be watching on the replay.
Yeah, definitely.
Wonderful. Yeah, it's great that Amanda stayed in the Women's Migraine Freedom Group to stay connected with us so that we can still share in her knowledge of what she's done to be able to bring herself to her migraine freedom today. So Amanda, thank you. Any last final word of wisdom for these ladies, or have we covered it all today?
Oh man, I think we've probably covered it all, but I don't know. Just know that we're here. You know, there are so many people here to help you, and yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for your time of watching today. I really appreciate every Tuesday that you join us for this migraine strategy call. I hope that you gain a feeling of relief when you listen to these stories, a feeling of hope, and that skepticism kind of starts moving to the wayside so that you know that you don't need to live a life with migraines. So if you have any questions, please reach out to us in Messenger. We will put the link in the comments for you to be able to set up a 15-minute quick call with us if you have any questions, because we're here to support you in whatever way works for you to achieve your migraine freedom, because that's the end goal. All right, everyone, have a great Tuesday. Thank you so much for being here, and we will see you next Tuesday for, I don't have my paper right in front of me, of course. Next Tuesday, we will be here for another, there we go. Jessica is joining us next Tuesday, so we get to hear Jessica's story, which will be so exciting. So watch for more info on that. Watch for some info on a special masterclass that we're doing. The information will start coming out tomorrow. If you have any questions, let us know, but here's to your migraine-free day, everybody. Take care. See you in the group.